The old mansion stood atop a hill, overlooking the town like a silent sentinel. It had been abandoned for decades, its once grand facade now a decaying relic of a bygone era. Locals whispered of the mansion's dark history, claiming that it was haunted by a ghostly presence, but few dared to venture near it after dark. One chilly autumn evening, Sarah, a young and curious journalist, decided to investigate the rumors surrounding the mansion. She had always been drawn to stories of the supernatural and had a penchant for uncovering the truth behind legends. Armed with her camera and a determination to document any paranormal activity, she arrived at the mansion just as the sun dipped below the horizon. The mansion loomed before her, bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight. The air was thick with an unsettling stillness as she approached the creaking front doors. Sarah couldn't help but feel a shiver run down her spine as she pushed open the heavy doors, revealing a cavernous floor filled with the echoes of the past. Her flashlight pierced the darkness as she explored the mansion's interior. The wallpaper was peeling, and the once opulent furniture lay draped in dusty sheets. Sarah moved cautiously, her every step accompanied by the haunting echoes of her own footsteps. As she climbed the grand staircase, a faint whisper brushed against her ear. She froze, her heart pounding. It sounded like the voice of a child, barely audible, as if it came from another world. Sarah continued up the stairs, her curiosity overriding her fear. The hallway on the second floor was lined with portraits of stern-faced ancestors. Their eyes seemed to follow her every move, and the weight of their gaze bore down on her like an invisible presence. Sarah paused to take a photograph of one particularly imposing portrait when she felt a cold draft brush against her cheek. A soft giggle echoed through the corridor, and Sarah spun around, her flashlight beam trembling. There, at the end of the hall, stood a childlike figure, bathed in an eerie, ethereal glow. It was a young girl in a tattered white dress, her hair disheveled, and her eyes hollow and vacant. She beckoned to Sarah with a bony finger, her voice a haunting whisper. "Come and play with me," the girl murmured, her voice a spectral melody. Sarah's instincts screamed at her to flee, but her journalistic curiosity kept her rooted to the spot. She took a cautious step forward, her voice trembling as she replied, "Who are you?" The girl's lips curled into a melancholic smile. "I am Emily. I've been waiting for so long." The encounter sent a shiver down Sarah's spine. She had heard stories of restless spirits, but this was the first time she had come face to face with one. Emily's presence was undeniable, and Sarah felt an overwhelming sense of sadness emanating from the spectral girl. As Sarah edged closer, Emily's form began to flicker. Like a fading image, Sarah extended her hand, her fingers passing through the ghostly figure. It was as if Emily existed in a world just beyond reach. Over the course of several nights, Sarah returned to the mansion, each time attempting to communicate with Emily. She brought a voice recorder in hopes of capturing more of the girl's haunting words. Their encounters were brief and enigmatic, and Emily's story remained a mystery. One evening, as Sarah explored the mansion's dusty library, she stumbled upon an old journal. Its pages were brittle with age, and the ink had faded, but Sarah could still make out the elegant cursive handwriting. It belonged to a woman named Eliza Montgomery, a former resident of the mansion. In the journal, Eliza chronicled her life in the mansion and her desperate desire for a child. She wrote of her struggles with infertility and the toll it had taken on her marriage. The journal entries grew darker over time, filled with despair and longing. One entry, in particular, caught Sarah's attention. It spoke of a mysterious ritual Eliza had discovered. A ritual that promised to grant her deepest wish, but at a terrible cost. Sarah's heart raced as she read about Eliza's pact with an otherworldly entity, an entity that required a soul in exchange for granting her a child. As Sarah delved deeper into Eliza's journal, she realized the truth behind Emily's presence. Emily was the child Eliza had longed for, the child born of a dark and unholy bargain. Eliza had willingly sacrificed her own soul to bring Emily into existence, and now both mother and child were trapped in a spectral limbo. Forever bound to the mansion, Sarah knew she had to help them find peace. She researched ancient rituals and consulted experts in the paranormal. With their guidance, she attempted to perform a cleansing ritual to release Emily and Eliza from their torment. The night of the ritual arrived, and Sarah stood in the mansion's dimly lit parlor, surrounded by candles and symbols drawn in chalk. She recited incantations, beseeching the entity that held them captive to let them go. As she reached the climax of the ritual, a powerful surge of energy coursed through the room, and a blinding light enveloped her. When Sarah's vision cleared, she found herself alone in the mansion. The air felt lighter, and the oppressive presence that had haunted the old house had dissipated. She knew that Emily and Eliza were finally free. As Sarah stepped out of the mansion and into the moonlit night, she couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. She had uncovered the truth behind the ghostly presence in the old mansion and had played a role in setting their souls free. But she also knew that the experience would stay with her forever, a haunting reminder of the thin veil between the living and the dead.